In this video, we URBEX a classic 80s atrium building. These 80s atriums are just epic and an absolute perfect thing of the 80s. This architecture is one of my favourites and it looks absolutely awesome. There is something about the 1980s and the epic atriums they built them. They look amazing. But sadly, this building is being stripped. It's now a building site. The whole building has been gutted and they're refurbishing it to make it look probably modern and a lot less interesting than it did originally, which is very sad and disappointing. But the atrium is still being kept, so it's still going to be a very nice looking building. And let's start the video off by sneaking into the construction site up to the top floor of the steps and taking a look at the maintenance catwalks at the top of the atrium. Look at that. Holy shit! Look at that! Oh, this is epic. Shame I'm on my crap phone, rather than my better phone, but oh, you don't quite appreciate it because the phone's too zoomed in. And doesn't this atrium just look awesome? It's just a design classic of the 80s. Let's hope they don't ruin it too much with the refurbishment. Look at that little platform down there. It's just a little overhanging platform. I wasn't expecting this, but this is an epic atrium. This is good. I'm quite happy with this now. Oh, it's another one. Everyone's on his own one. Oh, look, that's lifts there. That's a Schindler. I didn't even spot that. If we go down the floor, we might be able to get into that. Oh, look at that. It's epic. So you've got a set of Schindlers up there, and you've got an epic set there, but Motrium's on the floor below. Just look at that view of that. And when we take a look at the lifts, you can just know what lifts these are. Schindler Myconics. It's just two things that go together perfectly. Classic 80s atriums and Schindler Myconics. They go hand in hand with each other. But sadly, the lifts are being replaced. Not even modernised. They're being completely destroyed. And they're being replaced with generics. How could anyone do this? The replacements have new lift logic, which is the better end of generics, but it's still not comparable to what lifts were originally. The lifts were originally built in the 80s, then in the 2000s, the logics were replaced with the updated Myconic logic, and they were destination dispatch. So replacing a destination dispatch with a non-destination dispatch bog standard generic. Really fucking hell, what can I say about that? Let's take a look at these lifts. That's been replaced. That's the old stuff. Who in their right mind would replace that? Top of the range Schindler, and they're replacing that with new lift. That's disgusting. Why? That is literally the best, one of the best you can get. And they're replacing that with generic new lift. I'm lost for words. The fact this building would do it, that's just disgusting. And now up to the motor room. All of the logics have been removed. There's now new lift logics being installed in the motor room. All the motors are gone apart from the two motors on the glass lifts, which are in a very sorry state. That's in a sad state. That is in a very sad state. I feel sorry for it. There used to be more motors up there as well. Look at those beams. That is in a very, very sad state. I don't know what to say about that. It's really sad looking. And they're putting in new logics. Let's have a look at this new logic, see what it's like. New lift logic. Everything is new lift logic. And now let's go up to the roof of the building. And let's take a look around the roof. You're on the roof. Can't really see anything on this phone, but there you got 22 Bishopsgate and other buildings you can go into. Oh, and there's a ladder up to the roof, a higher roof up there. And along to the glass roof of the atrium. And we walk onto the window cleaner platform where we get a really epic view of this atrium. There's the catwalk we were on earlier, and there's the atrium. We are currently now above the top of the atrium on this window area, on the window cleaner lift. And there we can look down onto the atrium. Over there we've got the Shard and associated buildings. There we've got 22 Bishopsgate and associated buildings. And over there we've got Canary Wharf and associated buildings. So here we've got a classic 80s, absolute classic 80s Myconic building with the classic 80s atrium of this era. It's absolutely epic. Sadly we can't appreciate it properly because my phone's so shit. Are you going to stand in the glass window?
Oh no, I'm standing over.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
It'll fall out my arse.
And now we go along to the service lift and into the motor room. This lift has been turned into an MRL and the motor room is now empty. It doesn't have a motor in it, but the logic is in the motor room. It's one of these weird mods where the logic's in the motor room, but the motor's in the shaft. And this lift is currently in the process of being installed. Well, here's a motor room, but this one is being turned into an MRL. It's been replaced with German new lift logic, so the old motor's been ripped out, stripped apart, new logic's gone in, and it's a motor room's got the logic in, but the motor is not here. The motor is MRL and down in the shaft. Oh, there we can have a look at it. There's the motor.
Is that German?
Yeah, it's German, that's new lift. The motor's hiding, it's scared of us. I think it's on car top inspection. If you want to do it, we need to get on the car top and start surfing. Yeah, car top's there. Oh, it's not even fully built yet. So now go down the staircase. We should have a lift to surf. Still got a Schindler button. This mod's not very complete yet. Back door. Look how horrible that door is. And here it is. So before we had classic Schindler, after we have this piece of rubbish. Partly installed. Do you think it'll drive? Shaft light. Oh, you've got a shaft. Look at those crappy LEDs they use as a shaft light. It's terrible. No safety. Look at it, it's running with no safety. Safety has been bypassed because we don't need safety. Okay, let's go. Run fast down. Safety's not a priority here. We can go with the doors open. Look at all those buttons, got run, fast and up. We've got Xylobeg because, well, it's generic because you can get Xylobeg, boring. Look at our LED strip as their lights. And we've got the car top box, is obviously not completed yet.
LED strip, shaft light.
Oh wow, look at that. It's actually got buttons inside as well. And it's got an indicator inside. Oh, not finished yet. Definitely not finished. And let's go and take a look around the service areas of this building. And along to the other service lift, which is currently in the process of being stripped out. This lift is an 80 Schindler Marconic, modernised with 2000 style Schindler, and if we open it up and take a look inside, just a floor and a chassis are left. That's your lift, is not in a good state, being replaced. Yes, the lift is just a chassis. And if we got to a motor room, very sad to see. It's not in great condition really. Someone's graffitied it. You've got the later edition of Schindler Marconic, the big update of the early 2000s. Sadly, all off. Looking in a bit of a state. No. Got the VF drive again in a bit of a state. Motor isn't looking very happy. The motor looks very sad. We have VF drive on the floor. A weird governor. Sadly, how on earth do you do it at freefall? That's a weird freefall handle, look at that. Don't know how you do it at freefall. And all the guards being chucked off. Rubbish everywhere. More Schindler Logic there, that's probably from one of the other lifts. Some Schindler Logic's just been dumped on the floor. Well, the sad, sorry state of the Schindler. And now we go to another section of the building where a Schindler 5500 has just been installed. Sadly, on top of the lift we couldn't get a folding fence into place, so we can't do inspection ride, so let's do a full speed instead. and onto the roof of this part of the building, which has a weird dome roof with lots of spiky bits on it. And if you lower the camera right down, it looks like some sort of computer game where you have to go left and right to avoid bumping into one of the spikes. And from here we can see the cranes! And what's that? The crane's got a message for me. Drive me? Oh, it wants to be driven. Let's go drive it. It's a crane to drive. My favourite. Tucker's driving seat again. Oh, the crane is now turning, everyone. The crane is now turning. And the arm is now coming up.
What's going down? And stop.
And here I'm at the top of the counter jib. Red light. There's the crane. There's the crane. At the top of the counter jib. And it was at this point our friends outside told us security had turned up to a building and were coming inside. So we walked down one of the staircases, but quietly listening out to see if security would be coming up our staircase or the other staircase. And then we heard security was on our staircase, so we had to run out to the floor, out of the window to the scaffolding, climbed down the scaffolding and escaped and avoided them. So earlier on this day, we also surfed the glass lifts at the Waterloo to Charing Cross Bridge. This lift is under inspection. Woo! Holy shit, this is slow. Wow, this is so slow.
It's hydraulic.
Yeah, it's hydraulic. It's got a good chassis for hydraulic.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Let's go right to the top.
Woo! I can see it railway.
Oh, it's a good train spotting position. Look at all the trains you can see. And we also went in a peely door lift.
Mind the door. Door closed.
Well, you can go on the roof of this building now. Go in to make lifts up to the roof.
Floor -1.
Diverse is no permanent.
Good, I'll do that.